So hi everyone, welcome back. Something a little bit different today. I'm going to do a quick review of this OEX Ultralite PANTHA 210. Quite a new design for them. It's been around about a year, but it takes inspiration, as you can see, from other big name brands, mentioning no names, MSR, Big Agnes, and it may have even been made by the same Chinese seamstress as those big brands. Now, let's get real. Like, this is not a big brand Ponzi name. This is OEX. This is Go Outdoors' kind of in-house brand. But as with all these things, bikes included, a lot of these things are made within 100 square kilometers of the same town in China. So is it just a really good value proposition versus those big brands? So this is, I think, retailing at 300 quid if you've got a Go Outdoors discount card, which you do. It costs a fiver for a year. I got this, I think, 249 rolling in some other discount codes. Paid my own money for it. Full disclosure. So what do I think to it? Well, it rained all night last night. It was 8 degrees and it was pretty windy from the southwest, which is this way. And the tent performed incredibly well. I have seam sealed it already because it's a silicone nylon tent. And when they stitch the seams together, that they can't actually apply the tape, the sealing tape, because you can't stick to silicone. So they do supply you with some silicone yourself. And if you want, you can seam seal it. You'd be silly not to. It doesn't really add any weight. There are no real downsides to doing it. It just takes about an hour. You've got to erect the tent, make sure it doesn't rain, and just paste it all with your finger. That's what I did. It's a bit bloody messy, but it held up really well. It didn't leak last night. Didn't really have any condensation issues. It was a bit chilly, and we'll come on to that. So the windage of this tent isn't great. So these panels here, and this is a kind of symmetrical tent in this plane. So you've got a vestibule this side, a vestibule this side, and the only thing supporting those vestibules are basically just stakes by the zippers. But you don't get a lot of sort of coverage towards the ground on these vestibules, or either the door or the stationary part. And if you're on long grass here, you get a lot of windage going up underneath there, and the tent becomes very, very breezy. And it is really, really lacking just another stake point there, just to be able to peg that down. There's a guy point there, but that's not really going to help. You want to just block out some of that wind in long grass, because this long grass is pushing it up like that. And because it's a mesh inner, basically almost a full mesh inner, it's a very, very breezy tent. So although it wasn't that cold last night, it was about 8 degrees. And I've got an insulated Big Agnes long mat, and a medium, well, it's only a 10C rated down sleeping bag. I was actually quite cold just because of the wind chill on my face, so I really did have to wear kind of a few more bits of clothing. It is a summer tent after all. The other thing about these vestibules is that if you've got windage from this way, the panels are very, very close. When they kind of deform in with the wind, they are very, very close to the inner. In really bad wind, that might become a problem, and you might get some water dropping on the inner, but it was just about okay last night. The other side was a lot better because it was like on the leeward side. But yeah, standard crossbar. Obviously, it's an inner pitch first, which is one of the drawbacks, but goes on that crossbar as well. And the outer's just held on at the stake points around the corners. Comes with 4 guys. Didn't use the ones at the back because wind was coming from the front last night. And yeah, it could do with a few more guys, I think. But inside, so I'm 1.94 m. So this is listed as a 2-man or a generous 1-man. It would be a squeeze for 2 people my size, side by side. It's about 1.4, 1.5 meters wide. And this is a long Big Agnes mat, and you can see there's plenty of room at each end. This is an XL sleeping bag. I could sleep in there with feet not touching the ends, heads not touching the end, even under a bit of wind, and it was absolutely fine. It was just pretty breezy. Now, this ground sheet has the thickness of a high performance rubber johnny, so I am using a Tyvek panel. You can buy this. Its standard width is 1.4 meters, so basically you just need to chop it to length and you're good to go. Just make sure it doesn't overhang the outside of the tent, otherwise you're going to get rain coming under. But yeah, in total, I mean, it is a very lightweight tent. It's quite fragile, so for bike packing, you do need to be a little bit careful with it, getting in and out and stuff. The packed weight on my scales, because sometimes manufacturers like to lie about these, was 1.48 kilos, including the pegs and including the pole bags and everything. And I don't think that's that bad for the cost of it. I think for the money, And the weight, this is kind of like, if you plotted money against weight on a sheet, this would be right up there. The only thing I think it could do with is just some longer panels at the bottom of the vestibule and some extra stakeout points on that stationary part of the door, just when the wind really is bellowing on there to keep it away from the inner, because that guy point at the top isn't going to do anything to stop this sagging in. Why didn't they just put a little loop on there? That would have been perfect. Inner pitch first. So last night was about 9 o'clock. It was getting dark. I really had to wait for about a 5-minute window of no showers before I could erect it without getting the inner wet. If it was an exoskeleton frame, it could have exactly the same layout, same footprint. It would just be like 10 out of 10 then. But I guess they don't want to piss off other brands in that factory. They don't want to piss their supplier off. Maybe another brand has exclusivity on that, where the pole's clipped to the outer and you can erect it all at once, just like the Durston or something like that. That would be, for the money, I think, amazing. But I guess if you want that, you've got to spend a bit more. But in total, so far so good. I've given it a solid 7 so far. If you want to see any more kit reviews on the sleeping bag, that's a Decathlon sleeping bag. I think it's really good for the money. Not that warm, but it is pretty light, and it's an XL, and it does, I think, 700 grams, even an XL. And that's the Big Agnes mat. But yeah, hope you enjoyed that. Let me know any questions you've got down below. Just buy what I like. Trying to get the best value for money stuff.